Well, hello there, guys. How are you guys doing today? It's March 17th. I've been working a little part time lately because it was my daughter's birthday, so we celebrated it on the 15th and the 16th. So I'm gonna hello Micheline. How are you guys doing? Sorry I'm so late. Well, just what, 10 minutes late, but I always got things to do and last minute things to catch up on, read my notes, make sure I have all my visual aids up. Well, anyway, yesterday was quite a scare, wasn't it? TMZ had reported, I think it was around noon Pacific Standard Time, that Paris had been rushed to the hospital because she attempted suicide again. And that was a scare. And then within like 20 or 30 minutes, after that news broke, that Paris apparently attempted to commit suicide, apparently, allegedly, because she was distraught over the leaving Neverland. She tweeted a lot of stuff, right? She tweeted lies, lies, lies. Oh my God, more lies. And then she talked directly to TMZ. F you, you effing liars, right? So you're like, oh my God. So you're saying that it's not true, that she denied it, but she didn't explain why she was in the hospital. And so you would think TMZ was like, uh-oh, let me back down. But today, TMZ, they doubled down on it. And they said that, she's at home, she's safe, she's rested. They said she had slit her wrists. But the contrary story is that she hurt herself in her house and she was rushed to the hospital. But TMZ today said that police report is where law enforcement have said that it was a suicide attempt. Now, anybody, no matter how rich you are, they are supposed to put you on a 5150 hold, which is you're insane if you want to kill yourself. So for your own protection and to save your life, we're going to put you in a psychiatric ward in the hospital for 3 days so that we can talk to you and we can find out if you need medication, we can get you therapy, we can do whatever we can to make sure you don't kill yourself. Well, she is home. It showed her in her car. It showed her outside the hospital. It also, there was her at KFC, which is one of Michael's favorite foods. And that's for true. That's real, because when the Arvizos were on Michael's private jet, and I was in the 2005 trial, they said he often ordered KFC, so he liked Kentucky Fried Chicken. Thank goodness she's okay, but she hasn't really tweeted since like 24 hours or more. So, I don't know, but the picture of her was on her Instagram, of her in the car with a look like, oh brother, and the Kentucky Fried Chicken was on her Insta story, and the Instagram Insta stories only last 24 hours, okay? So we wish her well. Of course we wish her well. And we know that this is a very, very, very trying time for everyone that loves Michael Jackson. Even his haters, everybody's, so intense right now. And so many lies, and oh my God, Paris, you're right, more lies, right? So anyway, so let me update you guys. Bravado is a company. They're a merchandising company. And in August 2009, they were awarded by Judge Beckloff, who is handling the Michael Jackson estate. He is the judge. And they were given an international distribution deal. Well, in Australia, there's this company. What's this company called? Cotton One. They're supposed to be a really, really famous company in Australia. Well, they have pulled Michael Jackson's clothing off of their website and out of their stores. So these people that are auxiliary, people that are being harmed due to leaving Neverland, they need to start filing lawsuits too. Okay? Thriller Live, which was one of the sponsors or one of the beneficiaries or somebody involved, was the Prince Charles's charity. And Thriller Live has been going on for years. I think they've done 4,000 shows. I think I read that. And so Prince Charles's charity is no longer involved in that. So who knows what's going to happen with that. Let's see what else. So Michael right now is really suffering, and his businesses are really suffering from a lying child pornography film. And I wonder if this film, no, not if, when this film is proven to be nothing but lies by the general public or by the law, the HBO, hopefully, lawsuit that the MJ estate had filed, I hope that this could be also sanctioned as a child porno film and forever taken off the air, and more child pornographic descriptions like this are never aired because it's just a very, very disgusting. French fans are suing for emotional distress, and it's the same lawyer that sued in France for emotional distress with the fans, which they won against Dr. Murray, and they won like 8 cents. That Dr. Murray killed Michael and caused him emotional stress. Well, anyway, they're suing Leaving Neverland now for the same thing. I hope they win. Okay. I did go to court on the 15th, and nobody showed up. It was withdrawn was the word, but I think the reason why they withdrew the ex parte hearing was so that they can get to arbitration much quicker. Now, there is a document that's filed that's 245 pages. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get that document, and I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to go over some more legalities with the lawsuit. So the next date, so when I was in court, the date that they had settled on was July 19th. So on the website of lacourt.org, regarding Optimum Productions, which is the estate, which is Michael Jackson's company, versus HBO, there's 3 dates. There's June 26th, which is really weird because it's the day after the 10th anniversary of the death announcement. There's July 19th, which is the date that I saw them schedule when I went into court on the 15th. And there is August 20th. Okay, so we got to figure out what's going to happen on those 3 dates that are on the website. And there's other documents that have been filed as well. And I'll see how many of them I'm going to get, and then I'm going to go over it with you guys. Okay, we're going to get to Dan Reed. We're going to get to the liar Dan Reed. Dan Reed is so ridiculous. I mean, his lies are such BS. He is such a con artist. He had said that this documentary is not about Michael, and we know that's a bunch of malarkey. Okay, it's really only for stupid people to go for that. Then when Piers Morgan, I think that's his name, he had questioned Dan and interviewed him, and he said, well, what solid evidence do you have? And then he said the soiled underwear. No, there's a story about soiled underwear. There aren't any soiled underwear, Dan Reed. Dan Reed is a liar. Then he wanted to make up for, in another interview, where, and I'm not even going to tell you guys where these interviews are because I don't want him to get a lot of publicity unless it's an interview where he looks like a fool. But he had also said that James told his mother Michael was a bad man in 2005, right? But then James says he didn't really tell anybody about the molestation until 2013. Well, only James and his mother would know that, right? And we know that they're users because they borrowed money from Michael for a down payment of a house and they didn't pay him back. So Michael was tired of trying to collect the money and said, just keep it. So she's bragging that Michael bought them a house. And the lawsuit where the family, they were cheating other family members out of money, and they were elderly ladies out of money back in 2013, 2014. And the lawsuit was worth $840,000. That's motive. And then Dan Greed was saying that they're not doing it for money. and that James is doing fine, not $840,000 on top of all the bills you still have to pay. Okay, and this is the family. So this has to do with the mother too. So anyway, they sold it to Waste Management in 2016, which is 2 years after they joined the lawsuit. So now they're probably just being greedy. And I believe that this is a complete conspiracy to extort the estate, and they're hiding behind a lawsuit. Another thing, AEG Live. I've been seeing a lot of old posts where people were like saying, okay, Catherine Jackson was suing AEG Live for wrongful death. Okay, but I remember that AEG Live would not even confirm that Michael Jackson was dead until they made sure it was Michael Joseph Jackson, and his name is Michael Joe Jackson. That is a fact. Okay, anybody who doesn't believe that, please just Google his legal forms of identification, okay? And you will know what his name is. I have documentation from the DMV that Michael has never had a driver's license in the name of Michael Joseph Jackson, okay? His name is Michael Joe Jackson, okay? Period. So, with, forgot my train of thought, which is something I usually do not do. So, anyway, AEG Live, I'm back. My mind is back. AEG Live had sued, Catherine Jackson had sued AEG Live. The trial was around 2013, so people thought that maybe Wade was hired by the law firm, by AEG, to get this claim against Michael to make him look bad, and they started this whole thing. And I'm thinking, no, I don't think so, because I have another theory why AEG and Catherine had to sue, and it has to do with the death hoax, so that forever and ever AEG is no longer liable for the death or death hoax of Michael Jackson. But a lot of people believe that Wade's allegations match the timing with the Catherine and AEG Live lawsuit. For those who don't know, Catherine lost that lawsuit, and AEG fully acquitted, period, and lost the appeal, fully acquitted, and Catherine had to pay AEG Live's legal fees of over $800,000, okay? So I don't think that they're connected, and that's just me. But what is weird is that Gradstein and Marzano, who were Wade and James's first lawyers, they dropped out around 2016. Okay, and then we have Manley, Stewart, and Finaldi, who are the lawyers. Gradstein and Marzano were also the lawyers for Quincy Jones. When Quincy Jones sued the estate, Quincy Jones, for using their royalties in the Cirque du Soleil shows in other ways as well. And the estate lost that case and ended up having to pay Quincy Jones $9-point-something million. Okay, but the Gradstein and Marzano dropped out of that one too, I think, because when I read the verdict, I was reading about an attorney named Mike McCool. So what's going on with Gradstein and Marzano? Just mentioning that's just food for thought. Why they dropped out of both cases, or why there were other lead attorneys hired for these two cases, because it was awfully weird that they were handling the Wade and SafeCHECK case and the Quincy Jones case. Okay, I gotta stop saying okay, but the reason why I say okay, it means that I'm transitioning. So I'll try not to say okay too much. Wade also said that when he went to Michael's house the day that Michael was drinking a lot of wine, and he knew at that time, because Piers wanted her daddy, he knew at that time that he was going to defend Michael, but Taj was at the house. Michael's nephew Taj was there too at that time, and that was after he testified, after Wade testified, when he said that day is what made him testify. There was no subpoena either. Per Scott Ross, who was one of the investigators in 2005, there was no subpoena either. James was never asked to testify because he was inconsequential, and the judge said forbid him to testify. So that whole thing about the phone call that James said he got from Michael, that's BS too. Why would Wade said Michael said bring wine to Neverland? Neverland has a huge wine cellar with so much wine in it. So that was another weird thing, right? All right, we're going to keep going. Oh, yeah. Remember the lawsuit said that Wade and James's lawsuit said Michael's companies were responsible for the alleged molestation because they were like a pimp. They were like a madam and a pimp that recruited kids for Michael, and the companies recruited these kids so Michael could molest them. Well, why, when Leaving Neverland, that fictional film, child porno film, Joy, Wade's mother, says when they got here, because they asked Michael to help sponsor them with a visa so they could come here and work, which Michael said cool. But when they got here, she said they had to pay their own bill. They were at an Oakwood apartment, and I know exactly what Oakwood apartments are, right? They were at Oakwood apartments, and they didn't have a car, and they had to fend for themselves. But in the lawsuit, they said that they were recruited and brought here so Michael could molest them, as in like a sex ring. But why did Michael not pay your bills? And then it just becomes so ridiculous. And also another guy named Brad, I think it's Sandberg, who worked with Michael and was in the studio with Michael maybe 300 times. He said Wade may have come in there twice, and he never saw anything at all that Michael was a molester or Michael and Wade had anything special going on. And then the mother in another interview said, oh, we worked with Michael, but we didn't work with him that much. Okay, they did 3 videos with him, and she did an interview, a podcast. So they're embellishing these hundreds of times that Michael was supposed to have sex. James SafeCHECK also said that, he was limited from hanging around Michael from age 10 to 14. He said he was molested 10 to 14, but he still knew Michael at age 16 because in 94, he was holding an umbrella for Michael and Lisa Marie. And in 96, there's a picture of him and his mother and his father and and James at the Is It Scary videotaping. Okay, the making of Is It Scary, So 96, no, that's 96. I think 96 was Ghost. So whoever, I saw somebody write that. I think 96 was Ghost, because Is It Scary was during the 93 allegations. So it was Ghost in 96 because he was, in 96, he would have been 16. Okay, yeah, because he was born in 1978. So he said he was 10 when he did the Pepsi commercial, but the Pepsi commercial was December 86. So he would have been 8 because he wouldn't have been 10 till 88 since he was born in 78. So James's birthdays are all off. There's always a year or 2 off. Okay. I was trying not to say okay. Did you see me? I almost said okay. What kid would rather have a ring than toys? A diamond ring to a 10-year-old is nothing. It's a piece of jewelry. So why did Michael try to bribe him with the ring? He would have rather had toys. It all just gets too stupid. All of it gets too stupid. Dan Reed also talked about the protesters at the Sundance Film Festival, saying they were 12 to 16 years old. Geraldine Hughes was there. She's 60 years old. And there was only a few people there because we do our work online. And the Brazilian fans do it in person. Russia, thank you, Russia. They decided not to air Leaving Neverland because they've interviewed me twice. Okay, Vladimir Putin is probably a Michael Jackson fan. Okay, not to say we're not going to get into the whole Russia collusion and Trump, but at least Russia has decided not, at least that's what I've been reading, reportedly not to air Leaving Neverland. And the British fans have been protesting, so it's really been some good stuff. Also, Dan Greed also likes to talk about the payoff, the Geordie Chandler, as if that's proof of something, which I have went over many times, and I showed you guys the signed affidavit by Brian Oxman that said the insurance negotiated it. And I believe that Michael got the insurance because he had to stop touring, and he took that insurance and he paid off Geordie Chandler. And he wanted the criminal case to come first, but they had to do the civil case first, so he just paid it off. Michael paid it off. He wanted it to go away. He wanted to get back to touring. He wanted to get off prescription drugs. He just wanted his whole life just to be finished with the drama. And he didn't want it to go on like OJ, which is what he told Oprah, and he just wanted to move on from it, right? So Dan Reed is saying because Michael paid off some money to quiet someone, that is a sign of guilt, and it isn't, because they could have always filed criminal charges, and they never did. So is Oprah guilty? Is Oprah's daddy guilty? Because Oprah paid his alleged accuser $50,000. You see? And you're on smiling all up in Oprah's face. It's a double standard. Dan Greed is a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He's a liar. He's a manipulator. And I bet you he got those family members to lie and embellish certain things. You know why? Because he probably says you can't defame the dead. And he's hiding behind the you can't defame the dead defense. Whoa. But Michael's not dead. There's my Alive trilogies. You got to get them. The Alive trilogy of Michael Jackson documentaries. Okay, guys, I want you guys to order this. If you want to know if Michael is dead or alive, please order this. One thing that Taj did say, Amazon.com, or you can watch them online on Vimeo. Go to my website, michaeljacksoninsider.com, to link to all that stuff, to where you can buy it, michaeljacksoninsider.com. Taj said something really interesting. He did an interview. Him and Brandy did this interview with this girl on YouTube. I don't know who she is, but she's the one that also interviewed Scott Ross, the investigator from 2005. Well, I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw, like the tail end of it. And Taj says, well, I know my uncle is dead because he would have called me when I had my child. So you got to remember, TJ, most of the family members never saw that dead body. And that dead body was officially identified through a driver's license, but and it was named through a driver's license, but there was no driver's license in the name of Michael Joseph Jackson. So all the death documents are in the wrong name, and I've caught the coroner doubling down on a lie, because he told me he sent that driver's license back to the DMV, California DMV, and I sent the DMV Freedom of Information Act to see if there was a driver's license in the name of Michael Joseph Jackson, and asked them if the coroner sent that driver's license back, and they said, no, we have nothing to match your request, and we're out of it. Okay, so if you didn't see Michael Jackson's dead body, nor did you DNA that body, then you have no idea if Michael Jackson is dead or not, because I've been searching for proof that Michael's dead for 10 years, and I challenge anyone to come up against me and interview me and try to prove to me that Michael is dead. I love it. Okay? So I am calling anybody out. First, you got to watch my proof first, because I don't want to get into an argument. If you watch my documentaries and you got some questions, please ask them. But I have enough information for an Alive 4, because everything that I've had, even the LA district attorney refused to confirm that dead body was Michael's, and I have that in writing. They refused to answer my questions. They refused to tell me who wrote alleged victim and alleged date in the Conrad Murray verdict. Conrad Murray said when he got back from the bathroom, it wasn't the same body that he saw. So I believe it was a cryonic body double. And mentioning doubles, let's talk about something else that came about. Remember the Hitler? I'm going to pull this up. Remember the Hitler photo? Let me turn my camera around. Remember the Hitler photo? Remember this Hitler photo? Okay. So this was in Leaving Neverland, and you can't really make out the face, but it does look like it could be Michael. But why did Dan Reed put a Hitler photo in Leaving Neverland? Just to kind of smear Michael some more and affiliate him with a horrible murderous dictator? Racist murderous dictator? Okay, look at this. This is what a fan found. They said, photo from Leaving Neverland, supposedly MJ. Check his nose, it's not even him. Look at that. That's not Michael's nose. It's the same outfit. This is from Leaving Neverland. So did they just, what did they create some footage, or they misidentified somebody or something? What the heck is going on with that? Here is the picture that the back of Michael with Hitler, and you could see that it's the same red pajamas because you could see this white right here. So when you go back and you look at this, it's the same thing. But this isn't Michael Jackson. So Leaving Neverland has so many problems, so many issues. I'm trying to turn my camera back around. There I am. Yeah, so many problems, so many issues, right? Also, when asked, did I say this? If I didn't say it, I want to say it again, okay? Because it's very, very important. When Piers Brosnan asked him for evidence, he said there was soiled underwear. But I know I said this, but this is just so ridiculous. There was a story about soiled underwear. There was not soiled underwear, okay? There's a lot of things going around that's not true. That the picture matched. What the, in Jordy Chandler's description matched. That's what they wouldn't photograph Michael Jackson for. That's why they made Michael strip, so that they could see if it matched, and if it matched, they were going to arrest him on criminal charges. Since they didn't arrest him on criminal charges in '93, that means it didn't match. Use common sense. It's as if they're going to say, oh, it matches, but never mind. It matches, but that doesn't mean anything. We just wanted to look at your penis. Thank you. We got to use common sense, guys. The description that Jordy gave was of a circumcised penis. Michael's penis was uncircumcised. And I believe I read that they took photos twice because he tried to say that there were spots on it, and they went back and the spot, it wasn't where the spot, Jordy said the spot was, because of Michael's vitiligo. And I want to go through something. People are confused. Somebody's confused. When I say that Michael had vitiligo and he was very self-conscious of it, and everybody is, it's a normal part of having vitiligo. I said Michael didn't want to have all that sex. I didn't say Michael never had sex with a woman. I said Michael didn't want to have all that sex in regards to hundreds of times all over Neverland, in all kinds of places that anybody can walk to, the train station, the TP. TPs ain't got no lock on them, right? There was always, like Grace Rawamba said, 60 to 100 employees, right? So this whole thing that they were having sex like a newlywed all over the place, Michael had vitiligo. He didn't want to be showing his body all over the place like that. And yes, of course, there are, a lot of women who have said they had sex. And there are two of them that I'm going to go into more depth. Does Michael have two black sons? Brandon Howard and Dante Williams? I'm going to go more into that at another one. But did he protect them? And timing was wrong. He wanted to be a bachelor, so he didn't tell anybody about Brandon. And with Dante, timing wasn't right. He was supposed to be married. The mother didn't do well because of the breakup or something. But I'm going to go more into depth with that and show you guys some documentation that I found that should help us understand it a little bit more. Let's see if I've went over everything. I think I have went over everything. I think I have went over all my list of all my notes, because I try my best to Yep, that's it, guys. That's it for today. I always wonder if I have enough information and more information and more information. I'm going to make a venture that, in regards to leaving Neverland, every lawsuit associated with them, with HBO, maybe Bravado, and some other merchandisers, and some more people who are losing business because of this slanderous, child pornographic, lying, libelous entire charade surrounding Wade and James's accusations. I believe that it's going to be the biggest reward in arbitration history. And if they think they can hide behind the Michael's not dead, you can't defame the dead, there's no proof that Michael's dead. None. I've looked. So the estate can always bring that up, right? All right, guys. This is Pearl Jr., and I will see you next time. Who remembers that from my old videos when I had an editor? When Cecil was helping me edit the fancy ones where I made no mistakes and I didn't say okay a whole bunch of times. But now that I'm on live, right, I'm just talking. I can't edit it out. I'm just on live. But anyway, you guys are so wonderful. Keep Michaeling, and we're going to win this. Don't worry. The whole world will know that Wade and James are liars and that the media supported them and they were the wrong people to use as poster boys for child molestation. They did the whole child molestation victims' rights a disservice for lying about something so heinous and so descriptive and so salacious. And I believe they made a child pornographic movie. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.